STEM, the acronym for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, is the future. According to the U.S. Department of Commerce, Economics and Statistics Administration, over the past 10 years, growth in STEM jobs was 3 times as fast as growth in non-STEM jobs. Now, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the size of the STEM workforce is currently well over 8.5 million people. STEM is where jobs and innovation are being created. However, the people filling these jobs aren't exactly equal. According to the National Science Foundation, 84% of working professionals currently in science and engineering jobs in the U.S. are white or Asian males. The lack of gender diversity is blatant and the pattern persists. Since 1991, there's been a 12% drop in the number of computer science degrees earned by women in the U.S. We need more women in STEM. Point blank. Why? A more diverse team has a greater variety of strengths, can meet a greater base of needs, and breaks imaginary barriers. Most research and scientific breakthroughs are not done by individuals. They are accomplished through team efforts and successes. Moreover, these teams are more successful when they are made up of a mixed group. There's a 40 percentage point difference in the number of U.S. information and technology patents filed by mixed-sex teams compared to all-male teams. That's according to the National Center for Women in Information and Technology. An article in Stanford Medicine explains the difference between men and women cognitively. Women tend to focus more on people, men on things. Men rely more on perceptions of distance, whereas women are more dependent on landmarks. These differences, although small, remain statistically significant. At a basic level, the two genders do not think in exactly the same way. At any given time, one may be advantageous over the other. A team created from both enables access to both sets of strengths. The differing perspectives can offer a unique approach and trigger innovation. The contrast allows for unique analysis of the challenge and potentially a more satisfactory solution. Gender diversity also better meets the demands of a consumer base. According to Coca-Cola, women control over $20 trillion in worldwide spending. Additionally, according to the GfK MRI survey of the American consumer, 74.9% of women identified themselves as the primary shoppers for their households. Products created by almost exclusively male engineers are trying to meet the wants and needs of a female audience. Female needs are better understood and considered when females are involved in the design process. One example of this was the development of airbags. When airbags were first being developed for common use, the team of engineers was completely male. This meant that the crash dummy they tested with fit the typical male body. They later learned that an airbag that would hit a man's chest and protect his head would hit a woman, who on average has a smaller stature, in the chin, snapping her head back and leading to serious neck and spine injuries, possibly even death. The University of Virginia Center for Applied Biomechanics found that women wearing seatbelts were 47% more likely to be seriously injured than males in similar accidents. While not always this extreme, women's involvement in STEM ensures that women are considered. Finally, we desperately need more gender diversity in STEM because it is perpetuating imaginary barriers. An article in Reuters describes some of the negative impacts of what is called a stereotype threat. 5 different universities did studies with 200 women and the impact hearing stereotypes has on their performance. One group was told they were taking a math test men were traditionally better at. When compared to the control group, not only did they perform more poorly on the math exam, but also had decreased performance on a standard verbal memory test following it. Stereotypes regarding women's capability in STEM are doing more than just isolating women studying these already rigorous fields. They are harming their ability to be successful. Increased women in STEM will come as these stereotypes weaken and more women attempt these subjects before being convinced they or their gender lacks the capability. is not to kick men out of these fields to make room for women. Rather, it is to build pathways for women to be successful in STEM so the community as a whole can benefit. As Nichelle Nichols, former NASA ambassador, put it, science is not a boys' game. It's not a girls' game. It's everybody's game. It's about where we are and where we're going. Organizations like the National Center for Women in Information and Technology and Girls Who Code have made it their goal to help women step into computer science. We need gender diversity in STEM. We need it to improve outcomes. We need it to meet the needs of the consumer base. We need to break the imaginary barriers preventing success. In the end, more women in STEM benefits innovation as a whole.